I'm going live with the YouTube. It'll take me a minute to shut the chat off. Okay, good morning to you both. This is the time and date set for our sentences. I did set one early, Hannah Fairley, but apparently nobody told the jail.
Booking.
Good morning, Booking. Judge Middleton calling. Debbie Davis would like to know if you'd bring Hannah Fairley in. So would Jordan. She'd like to know too.
No.
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 Okay.
We got to treat everyone the same. We don't do it for you, we can't do it for them now. How's that good for it?
I'll do it for the lady in the back row.
Okay, I do have one question for you. We have a Sean Moore scheduled, but that's with Judge Patterson.
Yes.
He was supposed to be at 9, but.
I'm not sure what happened to that. I saw it got picked up. Anyway, we're waiting to do Miss Fairley.
All right, we will get her down there and hooked up.
All right, thank you very much.
Yep.
Bye. I don't know, you guys must have made him mad. He said he wasn't gonna do it.
He wants to be back on bailiff duty over here.
She has a random civil infraction Sturgis ticket out there. And as you know, you can't do a jail on a civil infraction, but she got a civil citation in 21791 ON for a retail fraud of April 16th. I'm gonna see if we can deal with that here on this also.
And that's different than the other two that were.
Yes, she has no counsel on that. I just found it laying in there. They sent her a, problem is, I don't know if it'll show up on a criminal file search. There it is. It is alleged to have occurred at Goodwill on April 16th. Put shoes in her purse. They now have a third room at the jail.
Really?
There it is.
The public meeting room. They've called it the Sergeant Heath room.
It sure looks like the contact visitation room.
That's what it is.
It's probably a good use for it since they're not doing contact visits.
Just gonna call it. Yeah. Good morning, Miss Fairley. This is Judge Middleton. How are you this morning?
How are you?
We've got a couple matters we have to take care of today. Your lawyer, Jordan Yancey, is here with us. Also, Prosecutor Deborah Davis is here. In file 21336, you were charged with resisting and obstructing a police officer and retail fraud in the second degree. That's alleged to have occurred on February the 19th of 2021. That was at Walgreens in Sturgis. File 21443 alleges that on or about February the 18th, you were at Dunham Sports and took some property worth more than $200. So you pled to a retail fraud second degree in the Dunham's case in file 21443. You pled to retail fraud second degree and assault and battery or attempted resisting and obstructing in the other case. The matter is set for sentencing. You've been in custody today for I think 28 days, plus the 1 day you did at the front end on the other case. So I think you have a total of 29 days jail credit.
Your Honor, she may have additional jail credit. We had a bench warrant arraignment April 7th where she was in custody.
She's been in jail since April. Well, let's see. Let's take a look at that. April 7th.
Mhm.
Bond posted, all right. She got arrested on April 7th and bonded on April 7th.
Okay.
Weren't returned, so I guess we'll give her one additional day, so it makes 30 days credit.
Thank you.
Jordan, what would you like me to know here?
Well, Your Honor, as indicated at the time of the plea, Ms. Fairley is eligible for the HIDA probation. I did explain that to her. She reports to me that prior to these two incidents, she does not have a criminal record. She's indicated to me she had fallen into some tough times and felt there was no other alternative as far as her actions back in February. I would ask the court to consider the HIDA probation for Ms. Bailey to give her the opportunity to keep these charges off her public record, so long as she successfully completes it and complies with all terms of probation. I did advise her at the time we discussed the plea deal that failure to complete the HIDA probation does not make her eligible for those charges to remain off the public record. So there is work to be done on her behalf, but the benefit would definitely benefit her in that she would not have several misdemeanors on her record. It would remain clean to the public. I'd ask the court to consider that, as well as the consideration of the time she has served thus far on these files. Thank you.
Well, in addition to this, Hannah, you have another retail fraud from Sturgis from April 16th. They wrote you a ticket for a civil infraction, and that's alleged that you were at Goodwill and you stole some $6 shoes after you got out of jail on April 16th. That's a civil infraction punishable by a fine of up to $100. So in addition to these two cases, while you were out on both of these bonds, you got caught stealing once again. I have some, well, what's your thoughts? She has 3 charges, now 4. She has the retail fraud at Walgreens, the retail fraud at Dunham's, the resisting and obstructing from Walgreens, and a larceny from Goodwill. I did watch a portion of the video that I could get to open, and she was a train wreck on the Walgreens case. They could barely get her name out of her. She was so upset and distraught. She also lives in Shipshewana, and so what's your thought regarding these matters, Ms. Davis?
Well, Your Honor, I was aware that they were asking for HIDA probation, and obviously she's got several pending charges, not the most serious charges, but yet still charges that are going to limit her ability to do certain jobs or, make a living for herself. And she's quite young. She's got some trauma in her past that maybe she needs to deal with in a better way than what she's doing now. So I'd like to give her the opportunity to show that she can be a productive member of society and she can follow the rules, and the structure of probation is maybe the structure that she didn't get in her formative years. And hopefully she can show that she can do it and get her record clean. So I would be supportive of her getting HIDA probation.
All right, well, let me ask you a couple of questions. How much is the restitution for Dunham's?
I believe it's $269.63. But let me double check.
I showed 238.87 for Dunham's.
And that very well could be. The two were pretty close in
Right.
amounts.
And then how much was Walgreens?
That was all recovered. You're right,
But it
Dunham.
was thrown down on the parking lot, so there was no restitution?
Walgreens did not ask for any restitution, but you're right, Dunham's is $239.87.
And then we have $6 of this Goodwill ticket. Hannah, what's your thought regarding this? My fear is when I let you out of jail today, you're going to be standing on the front step at the jail and nowhere to go. What's your plan for when you get out of custody?
Actually, I have a whole plan set up. I am going to my boyfriend's house in Bear Rivers, who's always been really, really supportive of me. I've just always not been ready to settle down. And
Who's that person?
his name's Keith
Keith what?
Cloud.
Who? What's Keith's last name?
McLeod.
Okay. Miho?
Yes.
Is that your boyfriend?
Kind of.
Does he still live with his mother or does he live by himself?
He lives by himself. He owns his own home.
All right. So you plan to reside here in St. Joe County?
Yes, sir.
All right. What kind of work have you done?
I worked in a couple restaurants, waitressing, and then just gas station job.
How far'd you go in school?
9th grade.
You ever thought about going back?
Yeah, actually, I want to go back and get my GED and then go to college for nursing and psychology.
Well, I have to put her on probation on every charge in order to get the benefit of HIDA. I'm glad I set this out at 10:30. 21443 SM. The Dunham's case. Retail fraud second. What were you going to do with this stuff that you took?
I was going to sell it so I could get a hotel room
Where do you sell it?
on the streets.
Are your parents still in Shipshewana?
Yes.
Are you in contact with them?
somewhat.
You know, you're like a court floating in the ocean. I'm gonna do a 24-month probation, which could be finished after 12. I'm gonna order 60 days jail credit, 30, leaving 30 to serve, and of the 60 days, 30 are deferred. Concurrent with 21366 FY. The fine is 0. Crime victims' rights fee 50, state minimum fee 50. I'm waiving the attorney fee, although Ms. Yancey did quite a bit of work for you. $960 probation oversight fee, which could be reduced by half. A restitution of $240 to Dunham's. And I'm going to put you on probation under HIDA. I wish I were more hopeful that we would be successful here, but as I often say, I guess all we can do is fail. You deserve better than living on the streets and stealing stuff to sell. And I didn't know how Keith McLeod came into the picture. You were homeless over in Sturgis, and he's a Three Rivers guy. When did you start to see him?
I've been seeing him for a couple months, but I just never really chose to settle down.
Well, does he know you're gonna come stay at his house?
Yes,
When did you last talk to him?
like 3 days ago,
How?
I called him.
All right. Well, I guess we'll find out. That takes care of the Dunham's case. The Walgreens case has an attempted resisting obstructing and a retail fraud. Oops. 366. I can't just give you time served on any of these because it will make you not eligible for HIDA. Deborah, can I do HIDA when she has 3 separate offenses like this?
Yes, you can use HIDA more than once even, but it can be on all of them.
All right, I'm going to give 30 days credit, 30 days, 0 fines and costs, and HIDA probation. Were you high when this happened? I couldn't tell. You were so distraught. Then later you were calm. Had you been using something? Hannah?
No. Nothing.
Are you struggling with methamphetamine?
Yeah, I was.
Well, that's what I was seeing. All right, on the attempted resisting obstructing charge, that's where I'm going to put all the probation conditions. concurrent with 21443 SM and retail fraud second. 0 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, $50 state minimum fee. Zero attorney fee, 0 probation oversight fee. And there's no restitution. Sentenced to 90 days jail, credit 30, leaving 60 days to serve. Of the 90 days, 60 are deferred. Height of probation. CROA. There's a lot in here. I want you to do the economic crime class. Obtain GED or diploma. You're barred from Dunham's. For 1 year. You're barred from Walgreens. 1 year. You're barred from Goodwill for 1 year. You're to get a job. Seek and maintain employment. There's all kinds of people looking for help right now. Every restaurant in the county is looking for help. No drugs and no alcohol, including marijuana. Test on demand at PRC as directed. My intention, Hannah, was to just give you time served and let you go back to Shipshawana. But both the prosecutor and your lawyer want to give you an opportunity to have you take this off your record. No assaultive or threatening behavior. I'm not real clear about this relationship with Mr. McLeod. I'm not thinking it's the best place to go, but you're to keep probation apprised of your residence and phone. HIDA on all charges. Hannah, my fear is the wheels are going to fall off between now and the 4th of July. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that you can get out here. I left you in jail on purpose for a while to have you get a chance to have your brain detox. You were just bouncing off the rails, and you seem like a nice girl. Both your lawyer and the prosecutor are pulling for you, and I guess as far as that goes, I am too. But you've got 28 sober days. You say you've got a place to go. You need to start from square one here. When you get out of jail later today, I want you to contact the probation department.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
No? I think I'm good.
HIDA. All right, I guess all we can do is the best we can do. I would like to not see you for a while. I'd like you to get out here and be successful and get a job, and whether that's going to happen or not, I guess only time will tell. All right, when you get out later this afternoon, I want you to contact the probation department with your information, all right? All right, you're good to go.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you.
Good luck, Hannah.
Thank you.
All right. I had a phone number flash across the screen for a moment, and then they're gone. And
11 o'clock called multiple times while we were in the last hearing, so it may have been him.
all right. Is he aware of your motion?
I did send him a letter explaining why it was filed and a copy of the motion. But today's the first I've heard from him, and like I said, it was when we were still in that hearing, so I wasn't able to answer the phone.
All right. Well, I wish the best for Miss Fairley. Although, I'm not even sure. All right, so I have McKinley Elliott and Stephen Kelms, who are supposed to be here for a plea and sentence. I have Luke Knopfinger, who is here on some dog cases. I have Gabriel Hess, who is your client. And Chad Solomon, who is John Bush. So, I don't think I need the jail. I think I'll release that room. It is nice to have a third option there, Deborah. I didn't like the acoustics in that room real well. That microphone wasn't the greatest. The jail I left Friday, came in early Friday morning before I left, and came back, and we went from 104 to 126 jail population. So I don't know what you guys were doing all weekend while I was gone, but a bunch of people got arrested.
We had a lot of in custodies today that worked through this morning, so
Maybe the hot weather got people stirred up.
literally what I said.
Now, again, I had a brief Luna Galaxy. I tried to admit it, and it popped off the screen. I need to stay here. I go away for the weekend and things go haywire. You guys are arresting people right and left. Here's Luke.
Good morning.
Good morning, Luke. We're trying to get people logged in. Let's see who Galaxy J3 is. Is that Mr. Hess? Or is that Mr. Kelms?
I believe that's Mr. Hess.
Mr. Hess, can you hear me? Your microphone is muted.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good
Can you hear me
morning.
now?
Yes, thank you. All right, we've got you logged in. Stay right where you are. I got to bring a couple more people in here.
Okay. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Kelms. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Stay right where you are, waiting for your attorney to join us.
Okay.
They're joining us now. Give me just a moment.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Give me just a moment here.
Good morning.
Oops, give me just a second. I'm a bad typist. All right, here is another person. Luke, that might be your client.
Yeah.
Good morning. Is this Cassandra Weaver?
This is Cassandra Weaver.
Do you have the ability to do video?
I am trying. I'm really sorry. My cell phone, the screen cracked on it. So I tried to get on my daughter's phone to do it, and it's saying my password is not valid. I tried.
All right, well, stay right where you are for the time being.
Okay. I'm sorry about that.
Got several things going on here. We have a sentencing on Chad Salmon, who is John's client, and I don't see Mr. Salmon. Cassandra Weaver is Luke's client. We'll get to that in a minute. Stephen Kelms is Mr. Elliott's client. We're waiting for an updated driving record. And that brings us to Jordan and Gabriel Hess. This is file 21297SM. The defendant was charged with stalking and malicious destruction of turf. He pled guilty on May 5th to the MDOP of trees, shrubs, or grass, and the stalking case was dismissed. I did get the police report, and the matter was set for sentencing this morning. In the meantime, I received a motion from Attorney Yancey to withdraw as counsel. There has been a breakdown in the attorney-client relationship due to the defendant's belief the attorney is not working in his best interest. So before we can get to the matter of sentence, we have to deal with the matter of counsel. Ms. Yancey, is there anything else you wish to add to that motion?
Your Honor, following the pretrial on May 6th, where a plea was entered by Mr. Hess, I did receive multiple emails the rest of that day from Mr. Hess expressing displeasure with the service I provided for him during that hearing. At that time, I felt it was appropriate if I step back. I'm not sure what Mr. Hess intends to do. His emails, they have suggested he did not agree with the offer that we had worked out. I did not feel it was in either party's best interest for me to continue, as he needs to feel comfortable with his representation. And based on the content and the nature of the emails I received, I did not feel he wished me to continue to represent him in the matter.
All right, Mr. Hess,
Yes, Your Honor.
you did enter a plea. The stalking charge, the one-year misdemeanor, was dismissed for a plea to this turfing with some restitution. Do you wish to continue that plea to the other charge?
I'm accepting the plea down to the malicious destruction of property of trees and shrubs.
All right, so you want to continue with the plea.
Yes, and the stalking would be dropped, is what I understood between when I had talked to before the pretrial, when I talked to Mr. Marvin's understudy, or I forgot his name.
Assistant.
Yep.
All right, we've done that. So you want to continue your plea to MDOP, dismiss stalking.
Yep, and
You
I
got
never.
that part of it right.
Sorry. Permission to speak.
Now, yes. Now, your lawyer says you sent her email saying you were dissatisfied with her. Apparently, you're not dissatisfied with the plea. You wish to continue the plea, but what about your attorney?
Well, we won't get into a total bunch of that, but I just feel like she misrepresented me. She took my case. I understand it wasn't a real high profile case or anything. Just the lack of contact, for one. I just feel like she was not in my best interest. She forced the plea on me the day of. I didn't hear much from her at all.
Well, I don't know. I guess that depends on which side of the coin you're on, whether you contacted her or she contacted you. But so you wish to continue the plea.
That's fine.
Do you want me to appoint a different attorney for you?
Pardon?
Or do you want me to appoint a different attorney for you?
I'm ready to get this behind me so I can move on with my life. Today's a sentence. I think that we're at.
So you'll just proceed without counsel?
Am I getting sentenced today, Your Honor?
Well, it depends. Are you willing to proceed without Ms. Yancey here to represent you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so you'll agree to proceed without counsel.
I think it would have been nice for her to let me know that she was going to back off so I could have been a little more prepared, but hopefully this is the last thing we have to deal with this case here, so.
Your Honor,
All right, you don't want your lawyer. I thought she worked out a pretty good plea agreement on your behalf.
We had it worked out before she even got appointed to me.
Well, I don't know about that, but let's start with you, Deborah. What's your position here?
Well, Your Honor, there is a restitution request that had been filed. I know that there was some question about the amount of the restitution that was being requested. However, I looked at some of the case law on the matter, and basically restitution can be granted for anything that results from that conduct of the defendant. And in this case, there was stalking, malicious destruction of property. Now, the stalking was dismissed, but his conduct with the malicious destruction of property, the victims felt compelled to get security cameras for their home. There was a lot of issues going on there, kind of a long, convoluted story, it sounds like. But that being said, it did provide with the restitution request that they were requesting the amount of, let me slide up, $974.69, which includes damage to the yard, security cameras, and lost wages.
All right, can you break that down? How much is yard?
Sure, $200 for the damage to the yard,
All right,
$534.21 for the security cameras, and 12 hours of lost wages at $20.04 per hour, for a total of $240.48.
Mr. Hess, what would you like me to know?
Well, since I'm representing myself, my client, I can understand the actual charge of $200 for the destruction of property. I think he was willing to pay maybe half of the wages. I think the whole trauma on Mr. Tice's behalf was kind of convoluted also. I talked to somebody, magistrate before, and said, yes, I would agree to half the hours of 6 hours. Now, the security systems, I could understand if Mr. Hess was going out there consistently and harassing them nonstop, and it had been proof that he had been doing that, which is not the case. It was a one-time thing. He had went out there after he had been harassed himself and kind of lured in out there. And it was a one-time thing, and I just know he wants behind him. So I don't know.
This happened in January. Have there been any other issues since that time, Ms. Brown?
No, Your Honor, there have not. My client has PPOs against him, and has stayed on track with those, and has not contacted Mrs. Brown or Mr. Tice. So I think we can move forward. I think the exact number I wasn't sure was around $400 and some, whatever the 200 is plus half of the wages. I think he'll agree on paying for the restitution. I'd like to push for that.
How long were you in jail before you bonded out?
I was in there a day.
Arrested on 2/22, bonded. Yeah, one. All right, I'm gonna order 1 day jail credit, 1 day. I'm going to order a $100 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, $50 state minimum fee, $200 for the turf, and $120, which is half of the lost wages, which is $320 restitution. I guess the restitution is to
Derek Tice.
Derek Tice. Part of this comes from having two boyfriends at the same time, but this is, you're out of the picture. She's not continuing this relationship, and you need to move on, and it sounds like you're working at that. 420 plus 125, 545. I give you till the end of the summer. That's due by August 31, 21.
August 31, 21. Got you. Thank you, Your Honor.
$545, $320 restitution, and $225 in fines and costs. I do think Miss Yancey did a fine job for you getting this plea agreement, but I'm going to waive the attorney fee since you ended up representing yourself. All right, continue to comply with your PPOs and you'll be all right. Do you have any questions?
Not at this moment. I appreciate.
Are you still at the Dutch Settlement Road address?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you on the St. Joe County or Cass County side of the line?
On the Cass County by like a mile.
All right, don't get in any trouble over there either. All right, this matter is completed. You owe $545 by August 31st. You're good to go.
Thank you.
Jordan, does that complete your obligations?
I believe so, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'll remove Mr. Hess.
Your Honor. Have a good-
Thank you.
Sorry, Jordan, that we didn't get it worked out like we wanted to, but it is
All
what it
right,
is.
well, we resolved it. Thank you. I'm gonna bring in Cassie Weaver.
Figured it out.
All right. All right, there you are. Don't go away.
I'm not going.
All right, you've been here twice, but I need to look at something.
I'm gonna shut the phone.
You have to shut the phone off because you're double dipped. You've also got a bright light behind you. And so stay right where you are. I want to update my,
There we go. Is the volume bringing?
you're fine, Ms. Weaver.
Okay. Thank you.
I asked the staff to update the driving record for Mr. Kells. It looks to me like he's still suspended. Mr. Kelms, would you come back in? Mr. Kelms?
I saw him a few minutes ago, Judge. Is he not on
He
the?
was there. He's another in a long line of defendants who are charged with driver suspended to show up behind the wheel of a car.
Hi, I'm here.
Yeah, you were sitting right in the driver's seat of your car when I saw you a few minutes ago. I believe your license.
Yeah, I was just sitting.
Yeah, you were just sitting upright. Stay right where you are for a minute.
Yeah, my license is renewed. I paid all the reinstatement fees and I received my physical license mail.
All right, Mr. Elliott, I'm going to put you in a breakout room with your client so you can determine what the status of his privileges are. He was sitting in the driver's seat of his car when he first logged in before you got here, and I don't believe he has a valid license.
He does, Judge, and John Barnes' office sent a copy of his paper license to the district court clerk along with a cover letter dated the 20th of May. So that should be in the file.
All right, well, let me see if I can find that.
Okay.
Letter from Barnes.
Yes, and I actually have my physical copy now.
He does have his temporary license. All right. Okay. All right. You have the license now, Mr. Kelms?
Yes, I do.
All right. The plea offer is to plead to a charge of allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. That's the one that carries no points, no driver responsibility fee, and doesn't get abstracted to your license. It is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by a fine of up to $100 plus costs and up to 90 days in jail. I don't know if I've ever, maybe once in a great while, somebody went to jail for this, but certainly not very often. Maybe if they're already in jail. Do you understand the charge?
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury? There will be no trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. You've retained Mr. Elliott, which is fine with us. You also could have asked to have had an attorney appointed to represent you. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath, and you have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Understand?
Yes.
All right, were you driving a car here in St. Joe County on November 18th?
Yes.
Was your license suspended at that time?
Yes, it was.
Well, I'm not able to get that updated driving record, but here's a license of your temporary permit. Have you received any citations since we saw you last?
No, sir.
All right. I'm gonna fine you $100, $75 crime victims' rights fee, $50 state minimum fee, that's $225. Can you pay that within 30 days?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll make that due by July 9. If you need more time, contact the court. Are you still at the Bell Street address in Niles?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
You can pay that by online, certified check or money order, or green bills. But this matter will be resolved, and if you otherwise have a valid license, this won't affect your ability to keep it. So, you're good to go.
Okay.
Mr. Elliott, last time I saw you were having quite a disturbing morning. How did your son come out from the accident?
He had a good co-pilot with him. Most people don't hit a tree and then live to talk about it. He's doing fine. He's on the mend.
All right, well, I'm glad to.
And
All right, Mr. Kelly.
appreciate you asking.
I was a little afraid. I didn't know where it was going to go, but I wanted to have a chance to ask you because I don't see you very often. So I'm glad that story had a somewhat happy ending. Mr. Kelms, you're good to go. Mr. Elliott, we'll see you the next time you get dragged over here to Centerville. And good luck to you, sir.
Take care.
All right, John, let's take care of you because Mr. Chad Salmon is not here. This is file 202272. Mr. Salmon was charged with driving suspended and no ops. He's got multiple unpaid tickets. About 6 of them. He's bound over to the circuit court on a felony charge, and he got it stopped again on May 2nd. So, have you had any contact with him?
I have not, Your Honor. We told him in open court on the 17th of today's court date. I also sent him a letter on May 18th telling him of today's court date, and I sent him the notice of hearing with the remote participation.
He hasn't paid anything. I'm going to do a bench warrant. Bond is $500 cash or surety. We will wait 48 hours. I thought about an immediate bench warrant. Since he has such a failure to appear and failure to pay, he has several failures to appear in this case. We'll hold 48 hours.
I see I have a phone number for him. I will try and call him.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Yeah, John.
All right, now we've got Luke and Cassie and Debbie, and some of this is ordinance. Luke, I was looking back through the Register of Actions, and it wasn't exactly clear how all this is going to shake out, but let's talk about this. In file 21534, Ms. Weaver is charged animals at large under Constantine ordinance. That one is March 10th. I believe that's this one.
Brennan.
Then under state statute, she's charged in 21535 with failure to control an animal, nuisance, and dog, another ordinance on 217. So she has I can't tell. These look like all local ordinance. There are all local ordinance. I don't know why I thought one of these was state statute.
Yeah, I thought one was statute.
535 is OM ordinance.
I thought The most recent one I thought was from the county because Lola got taken to the dog jail.
Deputy Musser was 310. They'll say dog ordinance, but, all right, I don't know. They all show as ordinance violations. Luke, is there some sort of plea agreement?
Yeah, and I guess I was kind of hopeful too that so the ID here, and I'm hopeful that Debbie can confirm this. Maybe not. The agreement that we had reached both with Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Johnson and Village Attorney Howard Bush was that we would make an admission in one file, the 535, and there would be a period where proper precautions would be taken, and essentially a delayed sentencing. At that time, if there weren't any issues, then all the cases would be dismissed.
Debbie, you have any confirmation of that?
I don't. There is a note on 514 to set up for a last pretrial, and that she would probably plead at last pretrial per Casey Johnson's notes, but that's all I have. And this is the one, let's see, this one was, there was a dog at large on 310.
Dog at large.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it made me think of a story that Sheriff Lori about a dwarf fortune teller that escaped from a jail. They put out an APB that there was a small medium at large. So that's what I thought about, at large, small medium at large. Okay, anyway, Miss Weaver. What kind of dog do you have?
I have a German Shepherd. He's a purebred German Shepherd.
And are you going to plead to allowing your dog to be at large? I guess they've had multiple complaints about this. They're going to dismiss the other two charges, and I'm going to defer sentence in this case to sometime this fall and see how we get through the summer.
Yeah, so my understanding is if I, because yeah, she was getting out into the front yard while I was at work. I various ways, and I figured out how she was getting out, so I've taken precautions. And yes, it's my understanding if we do not have any more issues, that we would defer the sentencing, and then that the charges would be dropped if she did not get out again. If I did not have any more issues.
All right.
And I did confirm this with Howard Bush over the phone and with
All right.
Casey John. I'm just a little uncomfortable if there isn't an understanding in writing, but
Well, all three of these are ordinances, so I'm not sure. 21534OM, 21535OM, and 21668OM.
So the notice of hearing that we have listing Casey Johnson from our office is 21-535. I don't know why it's an OM though.
All right. Well, okay, I'm not sure, but Luke is an officer of the court, and I'll accept it under his representation. If it's found not to be that, I guess we can always revisit it. What time do you go to work?
I just changed my schedule. I work night shift now. I'm a nurse over at Heartland. I go into work. I leave my house around 5:30 in the evening, and I get home around 6:30 in the morning. I work 3 12-hour shifts a week.
And where's the dog while you're at work?
My kids have the dog.
All right, so you have kids.
And now I do have. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
How old are the kids?
So my daughter is 19. And my
Okay, there-
son is 11.
All right, now part of this that could come back is if someone other than you lets the dogs out, you're still liable. So let's
Right.
hope kids are all on the same page. But we
We've
don't
had-
want anyone bit, and what it says is multiple warnings, and then they took the dog to doggy jail. Plus you failed to license the dog. Is the dog properly licensed now?
Yes, I did take care of that within a few days. I went right down and got her licensed. You know, I don't know. There's a lot of back and forth between me and the Constantine Police Department about multiple warnings and what that means. They say there has been, but I talked to police officers 3 times since I've lived here in 3 years. So, I mean, I've done the best I can. I mean, one ticket I received in the mail was just a witness statement saying they saw her loose, but nobody followed up with me. So I guess if I'm not made aware, that was the confusing part for me, was that I felt like I wasn't being made aware. You know what I mean? Like she was out, but then I didn't know about it until I got the statement in the mail or whatever. So, I mean, she got out too many times. I'm not saying she didn't. You know, we moved. She's a very smart animal. I didn't realize she could open doors and whatever. But at any rate, I have taken care of it. And I do have somebody that is willing to dog sit for me if need be while I'm at work, which I am thinking might be a good idea, just to nip the whole thing in the bud.
All right. Let's set this for sentencing for October 25th. At 11. If
Hear
there's
that,
further,
Brennan?
if there are further problems, the village can petition for earlier hearing.
I've spoken to Howard Bush about that, and our biggest concern, Your Honor, is that there's another German Shepherd in the area, and to the unsophisticated eye, it may look like one or the other, but I think we have a plan in place. But I will say we haven't had any problems since March 10.
Well, that's good. I had several complaints over the years down in Constantine. Howard does a good job with them. One case, I went down like once a week or so and parked my car and listened and see what was going on. There were complaints of dogs barking, but I won't drive around Constantine and look for German Shepherds. Let's just hope there's no between now and the end of October. All right. All right. Thank you for your help.
Thank you.
I'm not sure how feet the prosecutor has in this action, but we will deal with it. I did forget to deal with that civil infraction charge on Miss Fairley, but she'll be on probation, so I guess I can deal with it in the context of that.
I thought you had put it as it was going to be part of her height of probation.
I can't put her on height of probation on a civil infraction.
Well, and honestly, I don't know if she even took responsibility for it, so.
She did. I didn't even really address it. They sent her a plea letter and she didn't do anything with it, and it's still outstanding. She'll be on probation, so I guess I'll have an opportunity to talk with her about it. Ms. Weaver, you're free to go. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Luke.
We'll see you, Cassandra. Give me a call.
To issue it as
All
a
right.
misdemeanor retail fraud and just let her do the height of probation with it.
Or it's a Sturgis case. It's still out there. It'll get dealt with. All right, thank you. I have a full docket of landlord, tenant, civil, and small claims this afternoon. And I'll see you guys later.
Have
Thanks.
fun. Thank you, Judge. We'll see you,
Thank
Debbie.
you.
Hey, Luke.
All right, we'll stop our live feed and stop the recording, and we'll be back at 1:00.